Italy's decision to accelerate the timeline for integrating the F-35B onto the Trieste amphibious assault ship reflects a broader strategic shift in the Mediterranean, a region where military competition is widening, and the need for rapid, self-reliant European response forces is becoming more pressing. The Trieste was conceived as a hybrid platform that combines amphibious lift, command and control, and humanitarian support. Yet Italy increasingly views it as a second light aircraft carrier capable of sustaining fixed-wing operations. This ambition does not arise in isolation. It grows from geopolitical pressures, industrial momentum, and a desire to maintain Italy's ability to project power even when the Cavour, the country's primary aircraft carrier, is unavailable due to maintenance rotations or overseas deployments. The changing security environment around the Mediterranean is a central driver. Russian naval presence at Tartus in Syria is now a semi-permanent feature, and Turkey has expanded its maritime operations from the Aegean to Libya. France, traditionally the strongest naval actor in the European Union, is accelerating modernization programs for both its carrier strike and amphibious forces. At the same time, the United States is prioritizing the Indo-Pacific, leaving European partners to shoulder greater responsibility in their own neighborhood. For Rome, a second ship with the capacity to deploy the F-35B would solidify Italy's role as the first responder force for crises stretching from the Balkans to North Africa. The strategic logic behind bringing the Trieste into the F-35B enterprise sooner rather than later is therefore compelling. To understand the urgency, it is necessary to examine the ship itself. The Trieste displaces more than 30,000 tons, making it one of the largest vessels in the Italian fleet. It features a long flight deck, expanded hangar space, high-capacity aircraft elevators, and a command suite designed to coordinate large-scale amphibious or humanitarian operations. These characteristics already make it a strong candidate for fixed-wing operations, yet the F-35B imposes specific demands that go beyond a standard helicopter-centric LHD. The most critical is the flight deck's thermal resistance. The downward jet exhaust during vertical or short takeoff operations produces extreme heat that requires a specialized coating similar to the one used on United States Navy amphibious assault ships and the United Kingdom's Queen Elizabeth class. Reports from Italian defense circles suggest that Trieste's deck reinforcement package is being discussed earlier than originally planned, signaling Rome's intention to align the ship with F-35B operations well before the end of the decade. Beyond deck materials, the F-35B requires substantial aviation support infrastructure. The Trieste must accommodate expanded fuel storage for jet-grade JP-5 rapid refueling systems, secure data links, maintenance bays with climate stability, and stealth-sensitive servicing equipment. Italy's industry, particularly Fincantieri and Leonardo, has already been deeply integrated into the European F-35 supply chain through the Cavour facility, which serves as a major center for assembly and maintenance of F-35 airframes. Moving Trieste toward F-35B operations reinforces this industrial ecosystem, creating internal alignment between naval modernization and Italy's long-term role within the transatlantic defense network. The political and strategic motivations push Italy further. A dual-carrier posture would give Rome unprecedented operational elasticity. If the Cavour is deployed to a distant theater or undergoing major upgrades, the Trieste could sustain air operations over the Mediterranean without interruption. Italy's naval doctrine has increasingly emphasized continuous presence and rapid reaction, something difficult to maintain with a single air-capable vessel. potential flashpoints illustrate this logic clearly. A destabilization scenario in Libya might require rapid air cover for Italian forces or for European Union evacuation missions. Escalating tensions in the eastern Mediterranean between Greece and Turkey could similarly require an independent European stabilizing presence. A ship capable of deploying F-35Bs would represent a substantial force multiplier in these situations, enabling precision air power without relying on land bases that may be politically constrained or geographically vulnerable. Comparing the Trieste to the Cavour helps clarify Italy's trajectory. The Cavour was modernized to operate the F-35B, yet its smaller hangar and more limited deck space restrict the scale of sortie generation. The Trieste, by contrast, was designed with broader margins, larger internal volume, a more robust command system, and a configuration that allows for greater flexibility in storing fuel, spare parts, and embarked aviation units. While the Trieste is not a full-sized aircraft carrier, it offers an ideal platform for a modest but effective F-35B air group, especially for missions that blend amphibious, maritime security, and limited strike requirements. Italy's ability to operate both ships simultaneously would bring it closer to a sustainable, year-round air power presence at sea, something no other European Union country besides France can currently match. The industrial benefits further strengthen Italy's case. Fincantieri's reputation as a global shipbuilder is rising, particularly after exporting the PPA vessels to Indonesia. Demonstrating that a European LHD can reliably operate the F-35 enhances the export value of future Italian amphibious designs in markets such as Brazil, India, or other Indo-Pacific states that are evaluating next-generation carrier options. Leonardo, through the Cavour plant, would gain additional leverage in the F-35 maintenance and upgrade ecosystem, positioning Italy as Europe's leading node for fifth-generation naval aviation support. The synergy between shipbuilding and aircraft sustainment is one of the quiet but decisive reasons why Rome is eager to develop Trieste's F-35B capability early. If the Trieste eventually embarks F-35Bs, the regional balance of power will shift. Italy would become the only European Union member with 2 ships capable of operating fifth-generation jets at sea. This transforms Italy into a central pillar of NATO's southern maritime posture, reducing reliance on United States carrier strike groups during crises. It would also provide a counterweight to Turkey's rising naval ambitions, especially as Ankara continues developing unmanned aircraft for amphibious ships and expanding its blue water projection. Italy would be able to signal credible deterrence not only through presence, but through the threat of precision strike launched from mobile sea platforms. Despite the advantages, challenges remain. Operating 2 ships with F-35B capability requires significant financial resources. Fuel costs, maintenance cycles, and personnel requirements rise substantially when maintaining a dual-carrier posture. The number of trained F-35B pilots is still limited, and Italy will need to accelerate training pipelines if it intends to sustain regular deployment from both ships. There is also a strategic trade-off. The more Trieste leans into fixed-wing aviation, the more its traditional amphibious mission may be constrained. Balancing these roles requires careful long-term planning and potentially additional modernization budgets from the Italian government. Coordination with the United States for carrier-qualified training is another variable, although Washington has traditionally supported partners who enhance NATO capabilities. The realistic timeline for Trieste to operate F-35Bs appears to fall between 2026 and 2027, assuming that Rome approves the deck reinforcement and aviation support package within the next year. The political will is strong, the industrial base is aligned, and the strategic need is clear. The Trieste is no longer just an amphibious assault ship. It is evolving into a symbol of Italy's intention to remain a leading naval power in the Mediterranean, capable of shaping events rather than responding to them.